Do you remember this video from a couple of years ago when I was talking about rounded corners and roundings? Yeah, this is the second part to that video. Alright, let us do a quick recap from last time when we were talking about roundings, and in that one we were talking about how we can use a circle here, or an ellipse, that's drawn within a nice little square to round off our big cube. And we did that the following way. So as you can see, each corner of this little square, and well, this little ellipse within the square fits to the corners of our little box here, or cube. And of course that also works, let me draw a more square, a proper line here. So that also works on the bottom part the same way. We can apply the same thing, so we just bring this down here, and that's where our roundings will be. So the same thing just comes down there, it comes down there, and that's where we have our roundings. Now, the question somebody asked me, and actually before I go there, so I saw that people stick very much to this. We have a square here, like a smaller square, and then we have the bigger square, which is now rounded here, and I'm going to make it a bit darker with the black outline, and then we can connect here, and obviously we're going to connect a little bit on the outside of this square as well, and then connect here, and then here we have the rounding lines as well. So this would be like a nice rounded top, but you don't always have to do these like sharp, well, they're not sharp, but I like to call them sharp angles. If I quickly draw a square again. Another thing that you can do, especially if you have these roundings already, is that you make another sort of rounded edge here on the top. So it's not perfect. Let me actually fix that up a bit. And now you can connect to these little dots that I'm making here. Same principle, I'm still using the same ellipse there as well. But instead of having, well, this would come like this. Instead of having these like points here, we have these nice, more rounded edges there. So you can go with it a little bit further along and make it more, well, gentle, I would say. Now, what this video is actually about is the reverse of this, right? So let's say we have sort of like a kitchen bar pult or something. Here we have our L-shaped square. It could be like a kitchen bar or something. And we're going to apply the same technology here as well. So let's partition it a bit. Alright, and here we have our ellipse within the square as well. And now we can use each of these corners. So this corner will come here, and this corner will go there, and start drawing in the things. Well, and by thing, I mean the rounded edges. Now, it's all fine and dandy here on the outer corners, but what am I gonna do here? So this is a little bit weird, because if this ends here, well, technically for this corner, I would be using this one, and it's a little bit confusing. I don't know what to do there. For this one, I would be using this one here. I would be planting it right there, just like I did before, but that's also not working. So what do I do here? You have to think like sort of like the opposite. If we're looking at this L shape here, it means that there was something taken out of it. And what was taken out is also a square. And if we put the ellipse in it, it's basically this part that we need. So if we look up here, right, it is going to be, let me shade it the other way. Actually, let me take a red color. I said red. So we're going to need this corner right there. So that means that, let's do it all in red. So I do my prolonging of the lines. It would be something like this. And if I follow this corner, so I mean I need this ellipse or quarter ellipse coming here. So this is where my quarter ellipse would come. So here I follow this line and it's gonna come, let's make it nicer and rounder here, and another line is going to come there. And like I can switch back to black just to make it a bit clearer. And this is where we have the edges, something like that. And this is where the rounding happens as well. There we go. So now if we follow, I'll put a couple more section lines here, just so we have sort of a taste how this is going. Let me go over this red a bit. And there we go. That's how you would do the rounding here. And here we have sort of a complex shape, which you don't have to draw in because your eye will fill it in. If you want to make it a little bit clearer and easier, what I would suggest, let me bring this down a little bit, is to cut away from this material. So I am just going to do two tangents here, and I'm going to do a connection here and a connection there. And basically the rest stays the same. It's just, instead of here, you just had this point again that I didn't like here in the beginning. So as I said, I'm not always the biggest fan of these sharp points, and it looks nicer if you have these nice bends. What I do here is I make sure to eliminate this point here, and now the eye has actually two of these things to follow instead of just that one there. Oh, there we go. And now it's this rounding is much clearer and much nicer. We repeat it as well, so when you repeat a shape, your eye will understand it more. So now we also have the rounding down there on the bottom, and we also have the same rounding here. So this is an easy and the correct way of making this sort of roundings. Okay, and as a summary, here is our rounded cube. I use this square, well, not a square, but the ellipse in it, and I partition it into colors. So you can also see I use the colors. And this time I didn't do the point. I added these extra little, quarters of ellipses at the top as well, just like we did before. But let me take this away. We also have like the inner one, and I rounded those as well using the same sort of quarters. Maybe if I bring this back, it's a bit too much. Let's leave it just like this. So as you can see, it's always about finding, it's always about finding this ellipse, which is on the surface, right? So you find this ellipse, which is on the surface, and then you just use each quarter in the correct corner.
I don't think anybody will remember.
Doesn't matter.
You could say, a few 100 million years ago, I made this video.
No English accents, babe.
Corners.
Well, that was our video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. If you did, leave a comment, hit that like button. As always, you can... No, wait, Well, this was our video. I hope you learned something new, or you just added knowledge to your previous knowledge. Anyways, if you liked it, leave a comment. If you didn't like it, also leave a comment. Also hit that like or dislike button, whatever you felt about this video, share it with me. And I don't like doing these. I look at myself and it's annoying. Well, that's our video. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button. And I hope you learned something. In general, I make these so you learn something. So leave a comment if something is still unclear or whatever you want to share with me. I love reading your comments. If you want to see more drawing related content, feel free to subscribe to my Instagram. And if you want to support me, there's also links to my Gumroad and coffee. As always, the most important thing is that you guys have a great time and see you in the next video. Bye bye.